You're watching the Sports and Political channel of LB. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. All right, let's talk about this. So, the preliminary reparations package out at the city of San Francisco has gotten approved by the council out there, and the final vote will take place on July 1st. Now, each eligible resident will get $1.2 million in financial compensation to atone for the wrong that has been done. Now, when it comes to the subject of reparations, every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Susie, Jane, and Harriet has their own opinion when it comes to this particular topic. Because no matter what's going on, whether it be the war in Ukraine, whether it be Biden's re-election or Trump's indictments, reparations always seem to find its place back in the discourse. And what do I always say? Reparations is a topic that you cannot skirt the line, you cannot play both sides, you cannot beat around the bush with it. Either you're for it or you are not. And Harris Faulkner, aka Jeffrey from Toys R Us, is a staunch opponent of reparations. Now, this was heard back in 2019, where this article has come from Raw Story, where you can see right there where she says that she does not support reparations. And why would she? Why would she? Because back in 2016, Harris Faulkner won a lawsuit against Hasbro, the same company that makes the Transformers and the GI Joes back in the day, right? She won a lawsuit back in 2016 against Hasbro over a hamster that looked like her and was carrying her name. So to her, this was damage to her character. This was besmirching her name. So she sued, and Harris Faulkner and Hasbro settled out of court. Now, the terms was not disclosed as to what she received in compensation, but she got her reparations after she sued Hasbro. And this is who she's married to. She is a Zaddy worshiper. So I don't expect no individual like Harris Faulkner to stick her giraffe neck out, running her mouth about reparations. Because you, Harris Faulkner, have a thing for helmets. You like Miracle Whip. So why is you talking about reparations? You don't support it. You don't want no parts of it. So why is you talking about reparations? Huh? And they bring your crash test dummy ass out there to try to dispel our issue with the usual white supremacist talking point. Because nowadays, what they're doing is, since, well, we can't have white folks out here, speaking on reparations because they'll look like racists, they'll just bring out their usual puppets like Harris Faulkner and let her lead the way in the debunking and destroying the topic of reparations. So it makes it look like they're not racist. Cause see, we can't be racist because we got this willing and able token Negro right here that don't support what we don't support either. And this is what they do. So we're gonna break down a clip, right? With this Jeffrey and Drag. If you don't know who Jeffrey is a Toys R Us giraffe, right? Harris Faulkner, aka Jeffrey and Drag, who has the thing for Miracle Whip and helmets. We're gonna break down some of the stuff she said along with her panel of misfits, right? Because needless to say, Harris Faulkner want to be white. She dresses like them. She acts like them. She talks like them, but she can never be white. No matter how much makeup or Botox or skimpy dresses you try to wear, Harris Faulkner, your trifling ass will never be white. Now, let's play this clip.
Reparations Task Force has approved a plan to make cash payments to certain black residents and issue a formal state apology for slavery. And California taxpayers are set to inherit a massive bill. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Slavery, California, I know what you're thinking. We'll get to it.
Oh, yeah, because, slavery, California. Well, California never really owned any slaves. Yeah, that's one of the talking points people on the right has been parroting. You got idiots like C.J. Pearson, and I talked about that clown in previous videos, sitting up here, well, California really hadn't owned any slaves. Why should the state of California have to pay? Yeah, that's the kind of shit that's coming out their mouths and all that. Right? But let's continue on.
Under the proposal, eligible black residents would receive compensation of up to $1.2 million. In total, that could cost an estimated $800 billion.
Now, for other groups like LGBT and the Asians and the Japanese and the Palestinians and the Jews and whoever, when have you ever heard them parrot that talking point about, it will cost all this money? But as soon as black folks is pushing the line for reparations, then all of a sudden now we penny pitching, we pocket watching, right? The cupboards are bare. We don't have anything. How are they going to come up with the money? All this stupid ass talking point. Look, if you got money to send to the Ukraine, if you got money to send to Bangladesh and to Taiwan, you can find the money. If you got money to waste on other stuff, like, I don't know, maybe paying off interns so politicians could cover up their sexual impropriety of what happened in Tennessee recently. So if you got money to be paying off interns so you can cover up politicians' sexual impropriety, then you got money for reparations. If you got money to waste on every other thing that's out here, right? You got money for reparations. No one's trying to listen to that bullshit y'all talking. What's up, Ted Cox? Onwa Ekwumike. Salute to all y'all in the building. Let's continue on.
That's more than 2.5 times the state's annual budget. Some activists don't even think that's enough.
We must repair this damage. We must repair it. Reparations are not only morally justifiable, but they have the potential to address long-standing racial disparities and inequality.
You say nothing about slavery. Nothing. So the equivocal number from the 1860s for 40 acres today is $200 million for each and every African American.
Bill.
Slavery was abolished in California in 1850.
Oh, but I thought there was no such thing as slavery in California, right? You say slavery was abolished in 1850. I thought there was no such thing as slavery in California. Huh. So who the fuck is lying? And then here's another thing. since y'all sitting up here parading this talking point about, oh, well, slavery, it was so long ago. Well, what has happened since then? We had chattel slavery, we had Jim Crow, we had black codes, we had racial domestic terrorism, we had racial massacres, we've had racial property seizures, medical experimentations, sharecropping, convict leasing, Homestead Act exclusives, GI Bill exclusives, New Deal exclusives, contract buying, redlining, urban renewal, racial covenants, war on drugs, mass incarceration, and ongoing police terrorism. All that was going on since slavery was abolished, right? See, you idiots on the right are no different than the people on the left. Because, see, y'all always want to sit up here and talk this shit about, well, the Democrats is just dangling this carrot in front of the black community, and the black community is being used as puppets. Shut your ass up. Because you guys ain't no different. Harris Faulkner, Jensen Whitlock, Candace Owens, C.J. Pearson, all of you butter biscuit eating bandits ain't no different than motherfuckers on the left. Now, since y'all sitting up here and talking about, oh, the Democrats are dangling this carrot, right? What person in the Democratic Party that's from California that's been pushing the line for reparations? Huh? Who's been pushing the line? Has it been Karen Bass? Has it been Maxine Waters? That California raisin? Hell no. She more busy worried about which pearl is going to match her goddamn dress. Maxine Waters out in California telling homeless people to go home. You think she pushed the line for reparations? Hell no. She had time to go to Minnesota to protest a George Floyd trial, but she's not doing nothing in her own state. What about Kamala Harris? Camel toe, oh, camel toe. You think she's sitting up here pushing for reparations? Well, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. So who on the left has been pushing the line for reparations out in California? When they had that reparations hearing out in San Francisco, you think Kamala Harris was there? No, she took her ass to fucking Africa. And who the hell was there too? Amos Brown, the so-called leader of the reparations task force, and the so-called leader of the NAACP, a useless organization. So once again, who the fuck is on the left pushing the line for reparations? Who? Because y'all can't even say who.
I don't know. I think based on the sound bites you just heard, that doesn't matter to the folks who were talking at that event. William Lajanos was covering this story for us earlier today. He told me a couple of things I wasn't aware of. This task force was created after the death of George Floyd. So it's been going on for a while right now. It comprised of one Japanese American. Remember World War II, Japanese Americans, the internment camps during the Second World War, and everyone else was black on this board. And you don't need to be a descendant of a slave, and you don't need to.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. See, that's another bullshit ass talking point. For you to be eligible, it is lineage based. Okay? Oh, well, you don't need to be eligible. Why? Just because some person who's 1/8 black or just happen to have a distant cousin that might be black, then all of a sudden they can try to have their hand in the jar? Fuck all that. It is lineage based. See, they sit up here lying to you on TV. And these white supremacists will sit up here and talk about, well, I gotta pay for reparations because I didn't own any slaves and you ain't no slaves either. That's the kind of shit that gets propped up here. When you buy a house, not only you inherit the benefits of that house, but you also inherit its debts. So for everybody that's sitting up here talking about, well, I don't got to pay reparations, you don't have a choice in the matter. Because guess where your tax dollars is going right now? For everybody that's so up in arms about, oh, well, why these black folks out here trying to get reparations? I mean, why are you out here trying to get a handout? You don't think the people in Ukraine getting a handout? You don't think the people in Taiwan getting a handout? All those politicians that took PPP loans and didn't have to pay it back, you don't think that's a handout? Because see, when you bring up these facts, then all of a sudden now, they don't got the same energy for that. So yeah, anybody that's sitting up here talking about, oh, well, I don't have to pay no reparations because I didn't own no slaves or anything like that. Well, you don't have a choice in the matter. You don't have a choice. When you go to Germany and you call yourself taking permanent residence out there, guess what you're paying for out there? You're paying for the Holocaust, whether you like it or not. So sit your ass down, shut the fuck up.
Show harm. But I don't know. I don't know where this goes. I don't know where you get the money. I don't know what Hispanics say in California. But the rubber's going to meet the road when it comes for the state to go ahead and say, all right, guys, time to pony up money.
The reparations that man at that city council meeting was talking about, and reparations, I think, as most people understand it, somebody in your family had to be a slave.
And see, they go that talking point right there. Well, somebody in the family got to be a slave, and how can you trace your lineage back all the way to when this happened and all that? See, and that's easy. That's easy for anybody to trace their lineage back. It's very easy to do that. See, it just goes back to what I always say. If they really wanted to do something, they'll find a way to get it done. But if they don't want to do something, then there's all these excuses, there's all these hurdles, there's all these mechanisms that get in the way. And then we got willing and able bootlicking collaborators like this parrot right here. Oh, I didn't get the money. How you gonna trace your lineage back? Yeah, that's Harris Faulkner, aka Jeffrey and Drag, right there running her mouth. Reparations is lineage based. So this is where someone who's 1/8 black or somebody that got washed ashore from rip currents can bring their ass right here and talk about, hey, I want reparations too. Give me my money. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. You just can't just jump off the back of the truck and, hey, can I get some money? It don't fucking work like that. And I wish people would stop saying that. See, these people up here lying to you on TV. If you're one of them black folks that's sitting up here saying that, well, I don't want no reparations. Good. Sit your ass down somewhere, shut your ass up, right? Play the background and be the proverbial useless idiot that you always been. But just because you don't want something, don't be the person that throws a wrench in the operation just because you don't want it. And why would you not want what you're owed? All right, so let me get this straight. Everybody's talking this bullshit about, well, I don't want no reparations. I don't want a handout. So would you go to work for free? Huh? Whether you're flipping burgers, whether you're picking up dog shit in the middle of the street, whether you're a hotel clerk or a nurse or a doctor or a lawyer, would you go to work for free? You love your job so much that you're willing to work for free, right? No, because I can guarantee you, everybody that's sitting up here talking this shit right? If you go to your job and they don't pay you, how long would you stay at your job? Huh? Everybody talk about, I don't want no handout. If you go to work right now and they don't pay you the money that you're owed for the hours you work, how long would you stay at that job? And I have no good faith that a lot of you won't be there very long. And probably a lot of you would be acting a goddamn fool if they didn't pay you your money. So you guys don't make no sense. You guys just sitting up here just want to hear yourself talk. You guys don't even think about the stuff you say before you spot this nonsense. It is not a handout. It is what we are owed. Period.
I recall when the original proposal was put out there, you have to prove that you lived in California prior to 1939, I think. Let me check that. But it's not just California. This is spreading to other cities. And your hometown of Kansas City is talking about an idea, too.
Right.
You know, the city council granted a board to look into this as well. I think you're going to see this more and more frequently.
Other diverse lanes, minorities will get involved, like the one Japanese participant and the one in California?
I don't know.
Are they open to do that?
I think California,
No. We're not going to have other groups calling themselves trying to chime in and trying to leech off of us. No, because enough of that's going on already. Enough of this leeching off of us is going on already. These migrants, these tethers that come here and benefit off the work we do, and then they got nerve to run their mouth talk about how we're lazy. Now everybody want to come in and chime in and try to get a piece of our pie. Fuck that. They're not getting shit. They ain't getting nothing. Nah. This is for exclusive foundational Black Americans whose lineage trace all the way back to slavery. Not some migrant who got washed ashore from rip currents. Not some other mechanism that you want to call yourself propping up to try to get in the way of reparations. Look, this thing is strictly for foundational Black Americans. Not Caribbeans, not Haitians, not Africans. No porn star from Zimbabwe is going to bring her ass over here talk about, I want reparations. No, bitch, you can carry your ass back to Zimbabwe. And you got this woman here parading the talking points. Well, where are we going to get the money from? You guys find money all the time when it comes to stuff. When Trump is out here for 4 years, giving the 1% tax breaks and all that, they found money. Guess who ended up paying for that? We did. So we're not playing them reindeer games about where the money come from and who's going to pay for it and all that. You know good and well who's going to pay for it. It's going to be the taxpayer. And where we going to find the money? You can find the money. What's a tether? A tether is an individual that comes to the United States and basically craps on the Black community. You, sir, do not fit that profile of a tether. You're actually on code. But there's a lot of Black folks out there that's from the other land that are not. They're out here buck dancing. You, sir, do not fit that profile of a tether. Now, let's continue on.
Things possible, but again, when it comes.
And another thing, why is this dude here talking? Why is this dude here even talking? Why is Bill Renner speaking on reparations? This is not your issue. You sitting up here giving all these facial expressions and all that, and I'm not going to play the video because I don't want, I don't want nobody coming after me for copyright. That's why I'm playing the audio. But in the video, he got his eye googling every which way, throwing his hands up like, I don't know. This ain't even your subject to talk about, Bill Renner or Kelly McEnany, who like is stuffing politician her bra to make it look like she got big breasts. And you floozies out there that's running your mouth about reparations. This ain't your subject. This is not your subject. So why is you speaking on
it? Whether it's 1.2 million, which was,
or 200 million,
or 200 million, or
200 million sound good. I can rock with 200 million,
or even $100,000.
Right.
Who pays and when?
Talk to me about the legality of this.
Right.
And then here we go. Now we worried about the legality of it. Now, mind you, you have right-wing nuts in politics doing all kinds of illegal things with money. And you haven't heard anything about the legality of that. But all of a sudden now, when reparations is the topic, now we're worrying about the legality of it. Now all of a sudden, we're worrying about the legality of it. Well, is this even legal? I mean, could someone take this to the Supreme Court and fight it? Yeah, because coons like Clarence Thomas, right? He's chopping at the bit for reparations to come to the Supreme Court so he can shoot it down. Because as far as Clarence Thomas go, he got his reparations with big old Ursula, aka Jeannie Thomas, who will sit up there and talk all this trash and get kicked off with trips, vacations, and any other thing that tickles Clarence Thomas's fancy.
I just want to make sure that viewers understand. So that's left unresolved yet. So under the plan that this group has put forth over the last 2 years, this board was created by Governor Gavin Newsom. So it's unclear, unresolved, exactly who of the 2.5 million African Americans living in California would be eligible. Some argue, including at that meeting, that you would have to be a direct descendant from slaves. Others argue that simply those Californians affected by decades of racist policies should qualify, yes.
How do you prove that?
Exact dollar amounts would be left to lawmakers.
And here she go. How do you prove that? I just listed off the many ways that this has happened. I listed off the many ways. Right? Famous song by Tony Braxton. Let me count the ways. There's chattel slavery, Jim Crow, black codes, racial domestic terrorism, racial massacres, racial property seizures, aka eminent domain, medical experimentations, sharecropping, convict leasing, Homestead Act, GI Bill, New Deal, contract buying, redlining, urban renewal, racial covenants, war on drugs, mass incarceration, and ongoing police terrorism. And out there in the state of California, particularly in LA, right? We all know how corrupt the LAPD is. But between LA, New York, and Chicago, they are some of the most corrupt police departments out there in the country. What's up, Reef? Salute to my man Reef, the watcher in the building. Oh, and who can ever forget, the drug epidemic, right? All those drugs that get And I got a homeboy that live out in LA. He told me the whole play about how drugs and guns get introduced into the neighborhoods, right? So drugs and guns get introduced into the neighborhoods, and yet black folks are more likely to get arrested, tried, and convicted for drug possession and gun possession. But you let that slip by you right there, Harris Faulkner. You forgot that point, right? You forgot that, right, Harris Faulkner? Sit your ass down somewhere, ho. We know why they brought your ass on TV. Now, for those you need to see this again, this was her in 2019. Host Harris Faulkner began the conversation by admitting or by outlining the reason she, as a black woman, is against reparations, while so many Democratic presidential hopefuls have brought them up. She's against it. This was in 2019 when this article came out from Raw Story. She's against it. But meanwhile, back in 2016, no, 2016, 2015, I'm sorry. I keep saying 2016. It's 2015, she won a lawsuit against Hasbro that got her compensated because Hasbro besmirched her dear name. They ruined thy character. And she's a Zaddy worshiper. In case you didn't realize it, she like white chocolate sticks dipping in her chocolate box. That would tickle her fancy at night. So I don't want to hear none of you women up here talk about uplifting black men when you out here dating and marrying white men. Shut your ass up. Hey, so let me ask you something, Harris Faulkner. Did you pick up where Ebony K. Williams left off? Huh? Did you pick up where Ebony K. Williams left off? Because you know Ebony K. Williams worked at Fox News at one time. And I wouldn't be surprised if her ass don't support reparations neither. I'm gonna get on her in another video. Cause see, when you can't lie your way out of it, when you can't cry your way out of it, and when you can't twerk your way out of it, then all of a sudden now you found your blackness and you want to be pro-black. But I'm gonna get on you in another video, Ebony K. Williams. You stand by. You stand back and stand by. We're gonna jump on your ass later. Back to this Jeffrey-looking individual right here with her giraffe neck. Now, why are you out here pumping up these talking points, huh? Look, just because you got your reparations in a zaddy, that don't mean you get to undermine us, Harris Faulkner. That don't mean you get to undermine us.
To decide after the commission makes its final report to the Slate legislature. That's at the end of June. But economists working with this, as we saw, we know the total cost could exceed $800 billion, which, just a reminder and for perspective, is 2.5 times California's annual budget.
Once again, when other groups is demanding money, y'all don't go into statistics and y'all don't pull up all kinds of math and all kinds of other figures. But as soon as the black community asking and pushing for reparations, all of a sudden now we don't got the money and it's just not feasible. And look at the numbers, just don't support us supporting this idea. Now all of a sudden you penny pinching, you pocket watching. You worry about the deficit all of a sudden. We don't care about none of that. You got money for everything else. You can find money for this thing right here. You can find the money for reparations. So all you women out there that's running your mouth on Fox News, including this individual right here, You can sit down and shut the hell up because we don't want to hear it. We don't care about it. It's the classic line in one of them gangster movies, fuck you, pay me. But we don't got no money. Fuck you, pay me. My dog ate my homework. Fuck you, pay me. We got the war in Ukraine. Fuck you, pay me. What about Biden's re-election? Fuck you, pay me. Or what about Trump's indictment? I mean, Trump did stuff for the black community. Fuck you, pay me. Now, in case you didn't get the hint, we don't care about none of that stuff that's going on. We want what we owe. And a lot of these candidates that's up for re-election, their candidacy is tied to whether or not they're going to push the line for reparations. You don't think the black vote will cause a stir? You don't think the black vote will keep people out of office? Why do you think Jim Clyburn working behind the scenes to with the Republican Party to redraw district lines in South Carolina? Because a lot of black folks that was in his district left. So it ain't as safe and secure as he thought it was at one point. That's why he's working with the Republican Party to redraw district lines so that way his seat would be secure for as long as he shall live. Because see, the mainstream media ain't gonna tell you that. They're not telling you stuff like that. So once again, you don't think the black vote will have a say in the who occupy these seats? Better check your history. You better check your history. Because see, gone are the days where the old guard can just sit up here and massage and manipulate us, thinking that, oh, well, if we just wait and and be patient, that they'll eventually come around to it, and we're gonna get what we owe. We promise you, right? We don't listen to guys like Al Sharpton and and bootlicks like Tamika Mallory's little underling who's sitting up here leveraging the black community just so she can get a fucking Cadillac. We don't listen to people like Al Sharpton. We don't listen to people like Larry Elder. We don't listen to those people anymore. They're irrelevant. So they either get with the program or they're going to get ran over because this train is not stopping. And if you're black and you're listening to this video, you need to get on board or else your ass get left behind. Because that's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. No matter what distractions they try to put up here to try to throw us off the course, we stay on the track. You're not going to derail this train anymore. No matter how many bootlicking collaborators that's sitting up here parroting these talking points to get a crumb of biscuits. No matter how many amount of Zaddy worshippers you're gonna prop up in front of our faces, talk about, oh well, we don't want no reparations. No matter how many secret reparations hearings you're gonna have in DC, that your willing and able collaborators are gonna sit up there and parrot your talking points. No matter, none of that bullshit is going to matter. Because we're gonna get what we're owed. Period. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platform. If you think you mad, if all you people think you mad now, well, I'm shit. This video gonna have your ass incensed. This video is gonna have your ass incensed. You might blow a head gasket, and that is good because I am a big supporter of reparations. I fully support cash reparations. Look, for all you detractors out there, right? Understand this one more time so even a person of your low IQ will understand. I fully support reparations. Period. And anybody, and I do mean anybody, goes against reparations, well, guess what? You and I are going to have a problem. We're going to have a big problem. And you don't have to like it, but learn to love it. You don't got to like it, learn to love it. Out to the LDBC. This your man. Scream at me. Huh?